Hello, everybody. Hope everybody is well tonight. Happy Thursday. We've almost made it to the end of the week. That's awesome, right? So, Thursday the 9th, and we've got a full moon in Sagittarius on Tuesday the 14th. Should be fun. Yes. So I have lots of things going with this full moon in Sagittarius. So first of all, the chart, and I don't know what's going on. Like my computer keeps going back to, it keeps going to like an older version of that I have where I look at the charts for the day, for the individual day. And I'm like, I don't know why. And then it changes the date slightly. It's very annoying. So it's just kind of crazy. But I'm looking at the chart, the actual chart for next Tuesday. And it is interesting because I don't know if you've seen the astrology chat that I posted for the astrology for next week. This is going to be an interesting week. Hey, Kelsey. Hey, Courtney. How are y'all doing? It's going to be an interesting week because Chiron, which is the asteroid, the wounded healer asteroid, is conjunct Mars on the same day as the full moon. And when that is occurring, because they're both in Aries, when that is occurring, that's where we're going to see our... like there's ego stuff going on. So it's like we've got wounded, bruised egos happening, and it's emerging like all over the place. And this is where we're just going to have to deal with it. We're just going to have to be like, okay, I don't know how to deal with somebody else's ego. I don't know how to like work with that. Just work with your own. And all I can say is you don't have to humble yourself, but you do need to like put your ego in check. Put a muzzle on that dog. Yeah. It'll make things a lot easier for you. Then we also have a square with Neptune and the moon. So, I love this. I cleared off this whole space for Badger, and he was laying up here for a while, and then he left, and I'm like, see, I moved all this shit around just for you, Badger, and then you leave me. And I don't know what, like, he got weird about. But he's been weird with me ever since I had the sick cat in the office with me. It's a little bit jealous. It is his mom, by the way. But, yeah. I know. I have stories about cats. Oh, my gosh. I'm becoming that cat lady. I mean, it's great. So, yes. So, the moon is square Neptune on that day. So, when the moon is square Neptune, we're not going to get a lot of clarity out of this full moon. We're not going to get a lot of clarity as to what we need to know. We know we're ending a battle. We know that whatever battle that we started in anywhere from the end of October to the beginning of December, whatever battle we started, that's coming to a close. It's just, we may have some lack of clarity here. And in that, when we're bringing the battle to a close, whatever we began when the new moon was in Sagittarius, or somewhere around that time, whatever we began, we need to see what is so important to us. Where are we placing our biggest importance? And is that where our importance needs to be? There's a big question, right? Is that where our importance needs to be at this time? Or has it been there too long, or maybe not enough? So like if you're placing your importance on your family or your health or your business or whatever, is that where the importance needs to be, or does it need to be somewhere else? If you're placing your importance on your business, does your importance need to be more on your family, or vice versa? Or are you like not putting any importance on your health? Oh boy, that's an eye opener, isn't it? Especially for somebody that has hives, and they're getting better. Thank you, Courtney, for asking. I mean, Kelsey, for asking. Courtney has asked, by the way, but they're getting better. It's I still can't wear my rings, but they're getting better, and I'm not showing you guys the rest. I have lots of makeup covering them on my face and on my neck so that it's not abundantly clear to everybody that I look like I have leprosy. But it's getting better slowly. It's but that's an importance that I need to place, right? I need to reevaluate where I am placing my health, and maybe I need to place some more importance on it. I was like reading cards, and I was starting to record a show where I was doing card readings for different zodiac signs, and I realized when I was holding the card up at the camera, you could really see the hives on my hands, so I deleted them. I'm going to do them again. I'm just going to make sure that I have pictures of the cards so that I can post instead of putting them up, because I don't want my hands to be seen like this right now. Yeah. And I can't go get a manicure until this is healed. So my mom got me these awesome like sticky nail things. I don't know what they're called. Kiss, I think, is something like that. And so I'm really excited to try them. So that I can have a manicure without actually having a manicure. I know, it's great. Okay, so I want to pull a couple of cards and see how this full moon in Sag is going to roll with all of us. See how we're going to take it. Oh, the first one I pull is Earth Magic. Well, that's appropriate. And it's a 1. So that's root chakra. It's a 1, new beginning. It's connecting with the earth because this person's bare feet are touching the earth, and that's where the magic is happening, right? That makes sense in a a full fire moon. We may need to go ahead and get grounded here. The second one, sorry about that. I've turned my lights back on. I don't know if you guys can see this. Let me try to turn it off. Hey. Okay, spirit of gratitude. Boy, that's important. It's like really, really this is a beautiful card. It's a 7 card. It's also a crown chakra card. And spirit of gratitude, man, if we're not grateful for everything that comes our way, if we don't see the positive sides of life and everything that comes our way with the spirit of gratitude, it doesn't work out as easy. So we need to be grateful for the things that come in. Oh my gosh. And I'm loving this. A burst of magic. 48 is a 12, which breaks down to a 3. And this is wonderful. 3 is a beautiful number because it's the 1 and the 2 coming together. It's the masculine and the feminine coming together. It's the spirit and the physical coming together and making that that entity. So it's really, really great. A burst of magic. So this is what we can expect, sort of going into this full moon, is that we need to be grateful. We need to get grounded and realize that the magic is there and it can happen for us. Okay, I'm missing stuff. I could hook you up with a Color Street nail stylist. What's that? Oh my gosh. Thanks for the info. It helps me to navigate my life. Well, you're welcome, Veronica, especially since she is a Sagittarius. Readings kind of private. PS or flip-flops today. My toes half painted. I said whatever, but I was embarrassed, but I said I don't know. I don't care. I'm moving this way. Hey Jen. Oh my gosh. So this is oh my gosh. All right, sorry. I got a little itchy moment here. It happens. I try really hard not to scratch, but it happens. So this is the other thing, is ears wide open. This is not literally having your ears open is having your connection to spirit open. It's a 33 card. It's a 6 card. So that brings us into this year. That is like, it's fantastic. I think it's really great. Just for funsies, because I've been doing this in the tarot class, I wanted to tell you guys too, I was watching some other readers, and like we have all been talking about, like, you know, the stuff that's coming up, the moon, the shift with Chiron. Like other astrologers are also talking about this because you know, Chiron conjunct with Mars at the same time is like pretty intense. So I was watching some other people, and you know, I've been taking classes with Deborah Silverman, and so it's really, you know, it is like a really intense time. But so they were saying, like, they pulled some tarot cards just for like what they felt like this moon was, and one of the readers was like, I feel like this full moon in Sagittarius is a 10 of Wands, which, oh, the Hermit. So this is time to go within. So I pulled those out, and I want to talk about those cards specifically tonight. And oh my gosh, the Emperor. Very masculine energy. This full moon is very masculine energy. So much fun. Okay, so we are at a place where we're reaching an endpoint. We're reaching a place that, like, an endpoint with a battle that we've like had to deal with, stuff that's been going on, and it's just like, okay, this. And Misty, you're absolutely right. Moving forward is important no matter what, even if the nails aren't grand. I know, but I'm so vain, Misty. I mean, but I am trying. So I'm like, all right, we're gonna see where it is next week, like where the hives are, and maybe if my hives are a little bit better, I won't feel so weird about having my hands like on the camera, like being like in the spotlight. But it's just, the hives are still kind of like in a healing place. So I know they're not going to be around forever. I know the hives are just like, you know, on their way out, but dude, sure is taking its sweet time. You know, it's great. So anyway, that we're reaching an endpoint with this energy. We just don't have a lot of clarity because the moon is square Neptune. So what we're going to have to do is we are going to have to step out in faith. We are going to have to make a leap here. And, you know, you can get clarity by using like things from your garden, which I love to use. I primarily use honeysuckle. I also use zucchini blossoms. If I can get squash or zucchini blossoms, which I don't have a ton this time of year. But you know, because the plant itself is still growing. But if you're in a place with your garden, with your plants, and you can get some squash or zucchini blossoms, then pull them off and eat them, put them in a tea, whatever you want to do. And that will also help with some clarity. I love to use honeysuckle to clarify things. It's a great clarifier. And again, so is zucchini and squash blossoms. So, what I think that this is like super important is, the 10 of Wands is it's a releaser, right? This guy's unburdening himself. He's taking his burdens. In this card, it looks like he's taking his burdens to this castle on the hill, and that he's going to unburden himself. And he's like, you know what? I've been collecting this stuff for a long time. Maybe it's time to release it out. Hey, Amber Melanie. Hey, Angie. And so maybe it's time to release it out. Maybe it is. And this one, this guy's taking it also to a little house over here. And it's, for me, it feels like these ones feel like they have more growth around them. Like this is a time that, things that he's been gathering, like knowledge, and it's time to just release it out. And that really could be happening right now, because when I was talking earlier about Mars being conjunct with Chiron, our wounded healer asteroid, and we have these bruised or wounded egos that are emerging, you can't protect someone else's ego. You can't say, okay, I'm going to tone down so that it doesn't mess up their ego, right? Can't do that. Hey, Maisha. You can't do that. You can't sacrifice just for for somebody else's ego. That will never work. It will just never work. You can't be nice just for the just to not cause conflict. That doesn't work. It doesn't work. It creates a very bad passive aggressive cycle. If you want to be nice, then be nice, but be productive with it, and be like, and say, hey, this doesn't work for me, or hey, we need to shift this time around, or whatever's going on. But you need to be nice when you're assertive, not just being nice to just go along with everything, like, okay, yeah, that's fine, and then not show up. This is hard. It is. I know, Courtney, I know. And it's not totally 100% you, but there is a reason why this came up tonight. Because you don't want to hurt people's feelings, but if you're not honest with them, if you're not truthful with them, with like what you need, and saying it in a nice way, it won't get you there. Like, there is no resolution to the problem. You can't just be like, yeah, it's fine. No. But once you have your say, once you do it, you just move past it and just let them deal with it. You told them how you felt. Now you can move on and you just leave it. Yes, don't dim your light in order for them to shine. Exactly. Can empath affect wind, weather? It's been weird here and I've been emotional, but the weather here, Colorado, funky this time of year. Oh my gosh. The weather in Colorado this time of year is very funky. Can't even tell you like how many times it snowed on Mother's Day when I was there. And the weather would be cold in June. Yeah, I tried to go to our pool. That I lived in a complex, and I would try to go to the pool in June, and I would be like, okay, I didn't bring a wetsuit. It's freezing. And empaths rather the weather impacts empaths. I'll say that. The weather and what's going on will have a deep effect on empaths. Very true. I haven't had enough water today. Also, what the acupuncturist told me to drink more of because of the hives. I am so much fun. So, I do want to tell you guys, I found this great full moon ritual. Oh my gosh, it's so wonderful. So, I thought this would be really appropriate for this moon because we're all coming, like we're bringing some kind of issue, some kind of conflict, some sort of battle. We're bringing it to a close. We just don't know how it's going to end. We don't have that clarity, but we know that the battle is ending. And it's not that we're losing. It's not that there's a loser in this battle, but it's just that it's coming to an end. Do you see what I'm saying? So I found this fantastic ritual and I was like, I love this. And it's specific to the June full moon, which anytime you have a full moon in Gemini, it's going to be a Sagittarius because they are each other's opposites. It's just like Virgo and Pisces. They're each other's opposites. So you're going to see the full moon in Virgo when it's in Pisces, and you're going to see the full moon in Pisces when the sun is in Virgo. You see what I'm saying? So we've got sun in Gemini right now. So the full moon is going to be in Sagittarius. I love it. Yeah, because I'm like, so I was like, wait a minute, I'm not wrong here. The sun doesn't enter Cancer until the solstice. So, okay, so full moon ritual. This is an intuitive ritual, and what we're doing here is we are releasing the energies that we have in us to transform. So this is a transformational moon because it's a fire moon, and fire is transformational, correct? Anytime you start, like, I'm not entirely 100% about the Wiccans, but anytime you start working with magic, the first thing somebody's going to do is have you work with fire. I know. So you're going to work with fire energy first. And I don't want to say conquer it, because you never conquer the elements, but you work with the elements, right? So as this intuitive ritual is releasing, it's liberating, it's transforming those energies that we have like sort of tucked away. And it's a very powerful thing. So I'm very excited about this. And because that lunar eclipse that we had on May 16th, which was, by the time we have this full moon, it's going to have been a month. That is still the gift that keeps on giving, right? I mean, check in with Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius, because all of those people, and if you have that like highlighted a lot in your chart, like in your top 3, sun, moon, or rising, or if you just have like maybe a stellium in your chart of like one of those signs, or if you just have a lot of one of those signs in your chart, this is an eye-opener. This is hitting everybody pretty hard. And these people are really, they're shutting some stuff down, to say the least. So it's important for us to have this ritual. It's important for us to have this releasing of the energies. Like that. Okay, so what we're going to do is, let's see. I use stones, candles, meditation, and herbs. Oh, okay, Misty, this is fantastic. Yeah, I mean, I use all of those as well. The lunar eclipse is up in my ass. Yes. Oh my gosh, Courtney, it really is. It's like it. I mean, even those of us that don't have a ton of that in our charts, it's kicking some ass. It's fun, but I know your sun sign is one of those. I won't say which one because I don't want to, like, tell everybody your stuff. But yeah, this has really been good, Misty. Like, using all those things, really good. So what I'm going to tell you guys is how we're going to make a cup of mugwort tea. Now, if you can get a hold of some mugwort that is okay, I use mugwort a lot for I use it like to burn through my house. I cleanse my house with it. I cleanse my tools with it. So I use mugwort a lot. And I also like to keep some mugwort beside my bed because it really helps with like those intuitive, those psychic dreams. Mugwort is fantastic for that. But you really want to get some good mugwort if you want to put it in a tea. So if you can get some, I don't want to say edible because it really all should be edible. Should. But if you can get some mugwort from a reputable source, let's say that, and make some tea with it. Now, I also like to use, I have these little bags. They're little mesh, cheesecloth bags that I use when I make my own tea. And I did a thing, I did a metaphysical practices last year about making your own teas, and it might be time to revisit that. But you can just go buy cheesecloth and use it, like put your mugwort in it and put a rubber band around it or put some fastener around it and just steep it in hot water. That's a great way to make tea. It's a fantastic way to make tea because then you don't have to strain it out. I'm lazy. I like to do that. I have mugwort. I use sage and rosemary. Okay. Yes. Okay. I love, love, love rosemary. I mean, y'all know I use thyme and rosemary for like every damn thing. But mugwort is for this one, and it's a really useful herb. Okay, so we're going to make a mugwort tea. It's going to help us promote that clairvoyance. It's going to help us promote, I guess I got something on my eye there. Looks like some of the eyelashes. You know, I love these eyelashes. I can't give them up. Okay, so mugwort tea for clairvoyance, where you're going to need a golden, a yellow, or a purple candle. Okay. And you're also going to need something to carve into that candle. Now, here's what I like to use. Don't laugh. I use a fingernail file. Let me tell you, this little thing is so awesome because you can really get in there and you can draw on it, you know, and it makes an impression in the candle. Really fantastic. But you can also use a pen that's like dry of ink. That's a good one. So I don't always throw away my pens when they run out of ink. I keep them sometimes because they're really easy to write in candles. I know. If you're using a candle that is in a glass container, then just use a Sharpie to write on the candle. Because y'all know I buy a lot of my candles from the Dollar Tree. I do charge them in the moon. So the day before the full moon hits its pinnacle, when it still is full moon in Sagittarius on Monday, I will have all of my candles and my water sitting out in that moon. And then on Tuesday, when it hits its pinnacle, that's when I'll utilize this particular ritual. A coffee filter is a wonderful idea, Misty. Oh my gosh. Seriously, that is a great. I mean, a coffee filter is perfect. I didn't even think about coffee filters because I drink espresso. I have an espresso machine. I don't use coffee filters. So that is a wonderful idea, Misty. So back to the candles, and somebody, I'm not going to say who because she's in the chat. No, I am. Courtney just sent me some new candles. So I'm going to charge them in this moon. So excited. Okay, so we're going to cleanse our space and our tools and bless each item. Okay, we're going to be grateful. We're going to bless each item before and ask that the energy really work through our tools. Okay, just ask our guides and angels to say, hey, can you come in and really have the energy work through our tools? This is an important part here. Okay. Get comfortable, go into meditation, and start to work with your intentions. Okay. So during your meditation, start like affirming your intention and ask for the moon to send you her visions. So as we're in that meditation and you're just saying, this is what I'm wanting to happen. This is what I'm looking to happen. This is what I'm hoping, like this will channel out. I hope, and just allow that vision to come in. Ask the moon to bring you that vision. Okay. Focus your attention on your breath. So breathing deeply, breathing consistently. Like don't forget to breathe. Ha ha ha. And sorry, I lost my place. And allow like your feelings to become, I want to say open. Okay. Like just open yourself up. Each time you take a breath in and out, like open yourself up and just say, okay, I'm opening, I'm here. Like where is this leading me? Now, when you start to feel like the time is right and you're just like, okay, I'm ready. I want to hear what you have to say. you're going to have things that are going to come into you. Maybe you'll have symbols, maybe you'll have words, maybe you'll have pictures. Whatever it is, these things are going to come flooding into you. And just, if you need to make notes, keep a piece of paper there, make notes. I don't think you're going to have a problem remembering, but you might. I mean, I'm very forgetful. So bringing that energy in and just being like, okay. And as those things are flowing to you, okay, they're saying that you can, I guess, set your phone to record you so that you don't necessarily have to come out of the meditation. It's a really good idea, actually. I don't know whose guide this is, but this is a really good idea. Like bringing that in and saying it out loud so that you don't have to come out of the meditation, and your phone will record you so you can listen to it later. There's an idea. I really like that. It's like set your table, your candles, herbs, oils, whatever, whichever marks of witches, chillax, a note of intention and meditation. You break that down really good, Misty. I'm digging that. Okay, so when you start to realize like the images, the symbols, the words, all of that are coming to a close, when you start to go, okay, we're at the end, or there's no more that's coming in, bring yourself out of your meditation, bring yourself out of that. And if you have to listen to the recording on your phone, then listen to it then, and put those symbols like in your candle, like etch them in with your nail file or your pen that's out of ink. Seriously, pens that are out of ink have uses. They carve into candles very nicely. Or if you're using a glass candle, to write on it with a Sharpie. Okay. So put those symbols, those pictures, those words, whatever things are coming to you at that time, put them on your candle, however it is that you're doing it. Then once you get those on your candle, it's time to light your candle, because your candle is representing your intuition, your intention at this point. Then burn the candle down. Now, I don't recommend using like a huge candle like this for this particular spell, because, you know, this takes some time to burn down, right? So I like to use ones that are about half the size. I'm out of them. They do sell them at the Dollar Tree. They're about this size. I love to use that size because they're perfect when I set my intention, and I set them in the sink or I set them in my shower, because I have a shower stall in my master bathroom and it's completely tiled in. So anything that I think could catch on fire, I move it out and I put my candles in there and let them burn completely down so that I don't have to turn them, you know, like shut them off, so to speak, so I don't have to put the fire out. But they're safe away from my cats and dogs, and they're safe away from my kids, and they're not going to burn my house down. So let's think about this. Okay, let's be safe about it. If you don't have a place where you can do that, then when you're not monitoring the candle, when you're not at home, pinch it out or smother it out. Don't blow it out. This is very good. Hey, Gretchen, how are you? So this is, again, this is very transformational. This is releasing and liberating those energies that we have sort of trapped in ourselves, especially as we're coming to the end of a battle. If we're coming to the end of something that we've been fighting against or fighting for, or whatever we've been doing battle at, if we're coming to the end of it, then we need to release that energy. We need to liberate some energy, because our focus has been in one place for such a long time, right? So it's time to like reset our focus and liberate some of these energies that have been stored up and that have been ignored. This is good. Remember to make sure to align yourself with the energy of transformation, and you've created this space by making these steps to manifest your intention, like this whole time, and you can continue to do that until we reach the new moon. I know, I love this. So this is a fun little June ritual. It'll have everybody drinking mugwort tea. Love that. And have everybody meditating. Now, the full moon, as you know, full moons and new moons, 3 days. So you can set your stuff out for, it looks like you can set your stuff out in the moon in Sagittarius as early as Sunday night. And I don't think the time zone matters. But as early as Sunday night, you can set your stuff out, your water, your candles, your tools, whatever. You can set them out for charging and then use them on Tuesday when the full moon hits its pinnacle in the morning. So the full moon is hitting its pinnacle at 7:52 a.m. So really anytime after that. Actually, you can do it a little bit before. So if you want to do this like before you go to work that morning or even the night before, it's okay. There's no wrong way to do that. I mean, the moon is full. It's in Sagittarius. Go for it. No flame throwers. Just keep just as simple. Oh my gosh, yeah. So you don't have to overburn, but we're not burning the mugwort. We're drinking the mugwort in the tea, okay? We're not burning the mugwort in this ritual. We're drinking the mugwort in the tea, okay? There's a lot of herb shops around that you can get mugwort that is drinkable and edible. So think about that when you're out shopping. I mean, I try to keep everything separated, like stuff that I'm not really sure of it's, I'm not sure how clean it is or whatever. And I keep that just for like certain rituals. And then if I'm putting it into my body in any way or on my skin, then I try to have something that's like medical or food grade. That works really well. Okay, so again, I just want to remind everybody that lunar eclipse that we had in May, and you're going to hear me talk about this more than once because this is going to be going on for a few more months. That lunar eclipse energy has a ripple effect. It is still going on. So Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius, heads up, man. There's a lot of stuff that you are bringing to an end. There's a lot of stuff that you're not just closing the chapter. You're not just turning the page. You're closing the volume. You're shutting it down and you're starting in a new, just completely place. And that's okay. It is. It's okay. But don't just be nice and say things like to go along with the crowd and to not cause conflict. This is not a conflictless world. So, and I was telling somebody today, in fact, just a few minutes ago, I was telling somebody that all worthwhile relationships must endure some conflict. Right? Yeah. So if the relationship is not worthwhile, then don't worry about the conflict. Just move on. I know. It's so much fun. But we've got Mars conjunct Chiron on the full moon. We've got the moon square Neptune. So there's a lot of stuff that's going on here. There's a lot of interesting things that are happening. And that moon square Neptune is really giving us that place where it's not clear. Like everything's just a little bit foggy. I'm going back to my notes here. Everything is just a little bit foggy, and that's kind of a pisser. I really should put my glasses on. Yeah, when the moon is square Neptune, we have poor judgment. We're very impressionable, slightly gullible. So for me, with all that's going on, I see that as a lack of clarity. I see that as like it's a very foggy place. We're not in a good place to make good judgments. So in order to bring back some of that clarity, again, use your squash blossoms, use your zucchini blossoms, use your honeysuckle, and you can put them in tea. You can eat them. All of those are edible. And those are clarities. They do open things up so you can see better. But the mugwort will help you see better psychically. Ooh, do. I know, it's just terribly exciting. But I also want to remind you that this moon is sponsored by the 10 of Wands. It is time to release your burdens. And I think this is more about releasing some of the gifts that we've been holding up because we've been in some sort of turmoil. We've been in some sort of conflict. So it's time to liberate these energies and transform ourselves into a place of power. Are you guys ready for that? Are you ready? Are you ready? Because this guy feels like he's ready to liberate some energies. He's ready to release this. I know, it's great. Things have been so chaotic since, is that the eclipse? Yeah, it is. I mean, and we have Saturn's retrograde now. Neptune is joining the retrograde party at the end of this month. So this retrograde season, it happens. But this is it's a wonderful time, but it's not. It's also hard because it's hard to transition. And just think about okay, I, love The Lord of the Rings. But every time a volume ended, I would just be like, I can't, and because basically it is like a new book, in the next volume of The Lord of the Rings in that trilogy. And so we just have to look at it as that it's a continuation. We're still continuing. It's just that some of the characters have changed, right? I mean, that sucks, but it is life. And sorry, you guys, the hives, I'm itching. I'm so professional. Look at me scratching on screen, but I just didn't want to miss out with you guys again for another week. So, I'll chisel the makeup off the hives once this is over. And then I'll go apply all the stuff that the lovely acupuncturist has given me. Oh my gosh, she's been wonderful. Teas, and speaking of teas, oh my gosh, that little lady is making some freaking awesome tea. I mean, some of it's quite vile, but it is helping me like nobody's business. So I know, it's great. It's great. But I hope you guys I hope everybody embraces some of the things that are going on with these moons, this lunar eclipse. We've got all of these, the planets that are all starting to move retrograde. It's hard, but it's like embracing some of the bad shit that happens and just saying, okay, Misty's right. Evolution is the key. And sometimes growing pains, they call them pains for a reason. So I don't like to see anybody in chaos, Gretchen, especially you. You're so delightful. But, maybe there's something that you have that you've loved for a long time, but it's time to release it and move on. Maybe something better will be coming. You never know, right? So start thinking about where you're placing your importance. This is important because when we were in that place of survival during this whatever battle we've been dealing with since the end of October, the beginning of December until now, this is where we are starting to see where do we need to place our value? Where do we need to place our importance? Have we been placing too much of our importance on work, home, or health? And where does it need to shift to now? Does it need to shift to work, home, or health? Where is it at? If you have a business and you're focusing too much on it, maybe you need to pay more attention to your family. Maybe your business is suffering because you're paying too much attention to your family. I'm not saying your family doesn't deserve attention. I'm not. Don't get me wrong, and don't think that I'm saying ignore your children, because I'm not doing that shit. But I just try to have some balance. It's not always easy. I'm telling you, it's not. Because thing one is up in the house right now with a fever. So, me double checking on him, running down here to like do my show and then going back to check on him. But I've also been with him most of the day. So Dr. Seuss is also sick. So this is so much fun. I love being in the house with 2, possibly 3 men that have a fever. Todd, how are you doing? How are you and Leanne? Just love it when y'all drop in. So, making soaps, teas, I have supplies. You're teaching me. Oh, Missy, I am here to serve. And let me know about these soaps that you're making. I'm always interested in that. So look and see where you're placing your importance right now. It may need to shift. And this is like, where are you placing the value? Where are you placing your importance? It may need to shift a little bit. You may need to reevaluate. Don't ignore your family. Don't ignore yourself. But I'm just saying, you do need to shift. Things need to shift around a lot. I mean, sometimes, because if they don't, then how do you get new life into stuff, right? I know. It's like my garden. Every year I have to move stuff around because you can't plant, like, for instance, watermelons, you can't plant them in the same place every year. You have to move them around. You have to plant them in a different place. I mean, there's some things that you plant that you can't plant in the same place every year because they just suck the nutrients right out. Also like to do companion planting just for fun. So also talking about that's a whole nother show. That I've been working on. And as soon as I get my GoPro camera, y'all are going to be out in the garden with me. Did I let something slip? I'm just kidding. So let me know how this ritual works for you, or what you've done to add or subtract from this ritual to make it work for you. Remember, these are just guidelines. You are the magic. You are your magic. And I'm just here to give you some ideas, like Misty said. So make sure that you tweak it. Keep it the same, but tweak it to suit you better. Especially if you're allergic to mugwort. I don't want anybody to drink mugwort tea and then be allergic to it. Because I'm dealing with the allergies right now with the hives. But yes, so check out some of your local herb stores and see if you can get some mugwort that you can ingest. And also keep a sprig beside your bed, because it's really good to help with psychic dreams. I know. You gotta love mugwort. I know. And there was something else, because, again, I use rosemary and thyme for every damn thing. I have a lot of it in my garden. But mugwort is fantastic. Fantastic. May start growing it. Be awesome. Well, I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful full moon. And take care. Make sure that you do understand that lunar eclipse that we had in May is the gift that keeps on giving. And that energy is going to be with us for a few more months. So look out, especially if you're a fixed sign like Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, or Aquarius. Or if you have a lot of that in your chart or in your top 3, sun, moon, or rising. Okay, I think I covered everything. You guys let me know if you have any questions at metaphysicalroundtable@gmail.com. And if you want a copy of this ritual, or if you want me to clarify something from this ritual, please email me, because if you say it in the chat, I'll lose that. So make sure that you email me at metaphysicalroundtable@gmail.com. Okay. And thank you guys so much for being patient with me. And I'm sorry I missed last week, but I'm trying not to miss anymore. Last week my skin hurt so bad I couldn't even wear like a long sleeve shirt. It was just, but it's a little better this week. So I know I don't want to peel the skin from my body. So we must be doing something right. Again, wonderful acupuncturist. So we're headed in the right direction. But thank you guys so much. Have a wonderful full moon in Sagittarius. And until I see you again, get out there and make your magic. Bye.